Hello friends, welcome to our geography class. Today our topic is world climate. In this topic, we'll be looking at the meaning of climate, types of climate, factors that determine climate, and influence of climate on us and climate change. First, what is climate? Climate refers to the general or average weather conditions of a place over an extended period of time, usually from 5 years upward. Now, climate of a place is determined by the sum of all physical conditions of the atmosphere over a long period of time. The study of climate is called climatology, while the people that study it are known as climatologists. Factors that affect climate, or which we can otherwise say factors that determine climate. Number one factor, latitude. Latitude has to do with the position of a country or a place towards the south and north poles, and this greatly determines the kind of climate that will exist in that place. Number two, another factor is distribution of land and closeness of a place to the sea or sea level. Now, thirdly, pattern of prevailing winds and wind direction, which is also known as air velocity, can also determine the climate of a place. Altitude, which has to do with height. Then, height altitude, it's a factor because air temperature decreases with altitude. Now, number five, topography, which has to do with the structure of land. This also affects the climate of a place. Number six, heating of water bodies and land masses is also a factor. Precipitation, the amount of rainfall. Number eight, sun radiation and its influence goes a long way also to affect climate. Number nine, air humidity. Number 10, atmospheric pressure. And lastly, air temperature. All of these factors determine climate. Now, let's quickly watch this video
Climates of the world.
and know how important climate
Gray
it is to
clouds
us.
partially cover a blue sky and orange sun.
Ancient people used to watch the sky with a mixture of respect and anxiety. They knew that the weather and the climate determined their lives. Today, even with our technology, this situation has not fundamentally changed.
A green, hilly landscape.
The climate still impacts agriculture.
Sunflowers.
It still determines water resources, how full or dry our rivers will be, and what the landscape will look like.
People cross a waterway on horseback.
The Earth is home to an amazing variety of climates. As we travel, we see them change, sometimes in subtle ways, sometimes suddenly.
Small bushes dot a vast sandy landscape.
Everywhere, climate influences our lifestyle.
A boy rides a donkey across orange sand. Elsewhere, a woman ties up goats.
Our knowledge of the Earth's climates has progressed. Different ways of classifying them have been proposed. In this program, we use the simplest classification, the one that regroups all climates of the world into four big categories.
A map of the world.
Cold climate,
The northernmost part of the world and the southern tip of South America.
temperate climate,
Europe, the US, parts of Asia, and smaller parts of South America, Africa, and Australia.
dry climate,
Australia, the Middle East, and large parts of Africa and Asia.
warm and humid climate.
India and large parts of South America and Africa.
Each of these categories regroup types of climates that may vary, but share
Okay, friends, let's go into detail to look at these climate zones of the earth, which we say can be majorly grouped into broad types. Number one, polar climate. This is found in the Arctic and the Antarctic near the poles at very high altitudes, countries like Canada and Greenland. It is extremely cold here and dry. Temperatures are very low. There's also low humidity. Winds are typically light There's little precipitation falls and snowfalls, usually in summer. And types of polar climate include subarctic, tundra, and ice caps. Secondly, tropical climate. This is found around the equator. Countries like Republic of Congo, Brazil, Venezuela can be found there, and they are usually with low altitudes. It is constantly hot and humid in this climate region. Temperatures are very high to 18 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is high. It has speed winds. There's frequent rainfall and varied precipitation. It only has just two seasons, dry and wet seasons. Types of tropical climate include rainforest tropical climate, monsoon tropical climate, and wet and dry savanna tropical climate. Temperate climate. Temperate climate is found in Europe, Northern Asia, and North and South America. It is never extremely hot or cold here. Temperatures are usually moderate. More distinct seasonal change occurs there. There's very moderate rainfall, that means it's always cool, and moderate humidity. It has four distinct seasons: summer, autumn, spring, and winter. Types of temperate include maritime and continental temperate climate. Warm climate. This is found around desert areas which are between the tropics and the temperate climate zones. It is constantly warm here and dry. Temperatures are very high. Humidity is very low to almost non-existent. Winds come with very high speed, which can mostly cause windstorms. There is very low rainfall and precipitation. It has just two seasons, which is known as hot and dry seasons. Types of warm climate include coastal warm climate and continental climate. Now, what are the factors? How much does climate influence on us? Like we have listed in the previous video, it determines the kind of clothes we put on. It also determines the shelter we build or the type of housing system we have in a particular place. Oh, it has a lot to do with our agriculture. It influences a lot on agriculture, the kind of trees, plants, crops we cultivate. Number four, recreation and tourism. It goes a long way to determine how much of this we can do. And lastly, economy. So, climate influence on all of these. Now, let's consider climate change. What exactly is climate change? Now, climate change does not change. Climate does not change from day to day, but it does change over time, which is known as climate change. So, when climate changes over a long period of time, we call this period as climate change. The study of historical climate change is known as paleoclimatology. Climate change happens because of the movement of tectonic plates or volcanic activity and the tilt of the Earth's axis and other industrial activities. The current period of the climate change is sometimes called global warming. Yes, global warming is associated with greenhouse effects, which involves the process of certain gases tapping solar radiation in the Earth's lower atmosphere. Right, friends? Now, I have these evaluation questions for you. What is climate? Differentiate the term climate from weather. Number three, describe briefly the four major types of climate in the world. What is the influence of climate on us, friends? And lastly, what is climate change? Thank you and bye, friends.